if you're not getting a quarterback in the top 5, to me, this is your guy. This is a guy who's a franchise left tackle. Now, I went back and looked at 24/7 Sports rankings, and he wasn't exactly a sleeper here. Number 2 overall guard, but then I went and looked at his weight, and it said 349. I'm like, you know what? This tells me Brandon and Greg Biggins, another guy on the West Coast, were a little worried about Penei's weight and being another Damian Mama who came out of St. John Bosco and was a little too heavy. We were worried about him playing at 4 Bills. Now he looks like a tight end, and he's just amazing. Am I wrong on this, or is that kind of the knock on him when he was coming up?
No, you're exactly right. In fact, I think that was one of our initial player comps for him. Damian played tackle at St. John Bosco, but slid inside to be a guard at USC. With Penei, the big worry there was, too much weight. Yes, he's dominant, but can he handle the athleticism of a lot of Division I defensive ends, or is he going to have to slide inside? Remember that there was a lot of talk he might end up going to Alabama at that point. Mario Cristobal had laid the groundwork to recruit him early on in his career, but was he going to slide inside? Was he a lot like Dominic Jackson, a guy who had played at Alabama, who was from the West Coast, who was more of an offensive tackle as a JUCO player, but then moved inside to be a guard? That was the worry with Penei, but then he transformed his body. The other thing that was kind of the red flag was he missed the All-American Bowl and the Polynesian Bowl his senior year because he had to have shoulder surgery, and it was a pretty big surgery. It wasn't like they were going in and cleaning up a few things. It wasn't reconstructive surgery, but there was a lot of work to be done. So you take a guy who you're wondering if the weight's going to be an issue, then he's got a shoulder issue, which you're an offensive lineman. Shoulder issue is a huge, huge deal. He basically made us look like idiots at the end. Now, again,
that's not a miss. I mean, if you're a top 100 player, you're expected to go there. Now, did he outperform? Yes. That's not a miss. He was a top 5 offensive lineman in the country. You didn't miss him.
50, right. He's a top 50 player overall, the number 1 player in Utah, that same class as Zach Wilson was in. I mean, how about Utah? They can end up producing 2 of the top 3 players in the draft in 2021. And, you and I have been talking about this for years, because when you were out on the West Coast and we had Utah, we still have Utah in the West region, but just talking about, hey, Utah is that state that it's always been known for its linemen. And so you have Penei Sewell. Yeah, he's a lineman. But you got your Zach Wilson. You're seeing more and more players being recruited out of the state of Utah to the national programs. And Penei was one of those. When he chose Oregon, that was a big deal because, again, Utah lost the guy in their backyard, but he stayed in the Pac-12 footprint. And now he's a potential top 2, top 3 pick.